Are you ready?
I'm ready, bro.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of Across the Table,
Yes, sir.
where the drinks are cold, the mics are hot, and the conversations are fire. Sitting across from me is this guy is literally in everything acting. This man he's an actor, producer, director, everything else.
Filmmaker. There you go.
All of that. Sitting across from me is my man Liam Ellis. What's going on, man?
Thanks for having me. How you doing?
Man, it's all good, man. Thank you for stopping through.
I'm humble,
I appreciate
brother.
it,
Humble
man.
by the invite.
Now, I always start this out by asking this one question. How's Liam the man? Because everybody knows Liam the actor. Everybody knows Liam in that scene. Outside of that, like, how are you?
Pretty much out the way. Like for real, like it's ironic that I'm in acting and things of that nature because my personality socially outside of that would be the exact opposite of what's required to be an actor, to be a filmmaker. I talk. Yeah, I mean, we go back a little way.
Yeah,
so
we go back.
You know me socially, but for those who don't, I can talk. I mean, obviously, you give me something to talk about. Love to talk. A lot of research, data, history-based guy, so I read a lot. So I'm not just trying to spew random opinions and things like that, things of that nature. Trying to have some context what I'm talking about. But at the same time, if there's nothing for me to talk about or nothing engaging me, conversely, I'll be quiet. You know what I'm saying? I can go in a room and talk when needed, lead when needed, or I can go in a room and just blend in. You know, just pick my spot, read the room, and play my part. So I'll probably say out the way, balance, more so reserved. In terms of who I am as the man outside of acting, going back to the initial question.
Okay. Well, out the way it seems like the safest way to be.
Hey, man, we ain't missing nothing.
Because it's Grand Theft Auto outside, bro.
You already know it.
Man, and
all across the country, though. Like,
right.
It's not even, I mean, of course, you got our hotbed, you know, gender issues and our race issues and crimes revolving around those will always happen. But it's seeming to be violence and crime is just coming across the board. It's no longer any, main identifiers or that make you a primary target. It's just
they just out here.
You just out there. You know what I'm saying? Just if you happen to be at the wrong place at the quote unquote wrong time, then
it is what it is.
Yeah, it's like, hey.
That's a horrible way to live.
Horrible way to live.
That's horrible.
Horrible way to live.
Well, let's ask you some questions real quick.
Go ahead.
Because like I said, you are, when it comes to anything video, you are in it. In some way, shape, or form. What made you want to start?
Actually, I wouldn't say I wanted to start per se, because like I said, my personality, just as a man or as a person, I'm more reserved. So I was never like growing up thinking I'm gonna be in entertainment. I'm gonna be an actor. I've always written, so I knew I would have some kind of say in the writing world, whether it was academic, scholarly, news, or whether it was writing creatively, like backstories for up and coming artists or storyboards, things of that nature. Never thought about the stage. Definitely never thought about film or TV. I was actually a journalist for the Toledo Journal for about 3-4 years. And I was assigned to cover a national playwright named Michael Matthews out of Flint, Michigan. Works out of Detroit, but originally from Flint. Pretty much what Tyler Perry did with Medea and the stage plays, he was like the first person to do it on like a touring level. You can look him up. He's nicknamed the Godfather of gospel stage plays. So he was like a pioneer in this field. Tyler Perry, everybody who came up after him, he kind of had a hand in shaping. Went out Hollywood, was on. Full circles, 20, 30 years later or whatnot, he came back home to the Midwest and his idea was he wanted to take national plays, but then take them to local markets and build up original talent from that market to put on his national production. So he could have on the same play going on 3, 4, or 5 cities all in a short period.
And have like different people, like the people in the city play. That's
set up the team. He'd go in, he'd pinpoint somebody from his team to set up the team in whatever city they were working in. So they came to Toledo. And, it's a small market here. A lot of people know each other. So Dr. Deontay Moss actually Salute to him on that for real.
The nosy neighbor.
My man. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Him.
Word to the nosy neighbor. I want you to come on here too. So I'm gonna be in touch with you.
Yeah. Good guy. Good guy, man. So he was actually part of the original team cast. So he put out the word to me. He knew I was a media representative. That's what they needed. So I was going to be a media liaison, just covering the play, covering the rehearsals, building up the buzz. So when tickets were sold, you know what I'm saying, they would have a crowd already built waiting for the show. Long story short, I was at every rehearsal over the course of 6, 7, 8 months. About a month or two before the show was to debut, he still needed roles. So he came in the rehearsal one day and he was like, whoever here, y'all in the play, and I'm not asking. So I'm like, whoa, yeah, like time out, brother. Like, hey, you know what I'm saying?
He just threw you to the wolves like that?
Just threw me to the wolves, you know what I'm
Wow.
saying? So I'm like, explaining, you know, I'm trying to get out of it. I don't act, I'm just here. He like, whoop-de-whoop. He like, no, I know who you are. I've been seeing you at rehearsal. You know, you at every rehearsal. So you at least know the story. If you don't know the script, you at least know the story. He like, listen, man, if you can listen to me, if you can be taught, and if you can read, I can make you a good actor. He like, I've been watching you. I like the way you carry yourself. You fit the role. They'll love you. Man gave me the script. It was like the second biggest male part. Like, so basically like the male supporter. He was like the likable villain, you know what I'm saying? So womanizer, sexist, all of that. You know, this is 2015. So this is when we get into on the brink of, you know, a lot of the gender battles. So I'm thinking I can't play this role. I gotta smack women. I got a whole rape scene. You see what I'm saying? Like, I can't, my whole family women, like I can't do this. You know, I was having trouble separating like myself from the character. So showing up about 2 months, we got on that stage. Bruh man from Martin was in it. Can't think of my man's name. He was in the group with Fred Hammond Commission. He was in it. He's a big gospel guy in Detroit. And King Matlock. I mean, King, he's from Matlock. The black guy from Matlock. He was the host. So it was like, you know, a mix of local mixed with national talent. So he gave me the script. I did the part. They loved it. I was talking to Bruh Man afterwards, and he was asking me, like, so how long you been in this? I'm like, shoot, I haven't. You know, like 2 months. You know what I'm saying?
2 months?
Yeah, and he couldn't believe it. So he's like, man, listen, whatever you do, just keep acting. And from there, like, people just started giving me information, the casting calls, and put me in contact with people in the industry, and it kind of like took off. And the first 2 years, I did like, you know, I was in Chicago pretty much living. So I was Chicago PD, Chicago Med, Empire, the Miss Chalet story that was on Lifetime, White Boy Rick. So first 2 years, I was doing a lot of stuff, a lot of background, stand-in, double, some feature stuff, Lovecraft Country, but I still wasn't really taking it serious. I knew I liked it, and I knew it was like a word of opportunity, but I'm thinking like I'm not a actor, I guess,
you were
per
just
se.
doing it just to do it.
Yeah, I mean, I was starting to like it, and I was a writer, so if nothing else, me being on that side would make me a better writer, because now I can see what the finished product looked like, what that process looked like coming together from off paper. So that's why I was doing it. And then I got invited to do Fences at the Toledo Rep. And when I did that role, that was like a game-changer role for me. Like when I did that, because I was a huge fan of the work already, August Wilson, Denzel, Viola Davis, like Kelty Williamson, you know what I'm saying, just won, you know, Oscars, Tony Award. So when I got a chance to do that role, I played Gabe. You know, that was the handicapped brother.
Right.
So it's a real challenging role, something, but you got to treat it delicately because you don't want to make a mockery out of, you know, the disabled, things of that nature. So
because they come after you for anything.
Yeah, you know, for sure, and rightfully so. If you get up there and mock them, you know what I'm saying, they're making like a comedy, and that's not really, you know, what it's about. So
right.
I did that role, and after I did that, I said, okay, maybe I got something with this, and I got invited to a showcase called Starbound. And it's pretty much like you have like a showcase in LA 2 times a year. It's like the combine. It's like the equivalent of the NFL combine for college athletes, amateur athletes. It's like the equivalent for unsigned talent. Actors, singers, models, dancers. 40, 50 agents are like Hollywood agents are there in a week and you're showcasing. So I ended up going to a showcase like that through a program called Talent Inc. Last summer, ended up signing my first agent. So now it's been kind of serious. You know, you're on the next level, so it's more competitive. You're in a bigger, smaller, smaller fish in a bigger pond now. So You're just always working, always trying to get better. So that's pretty much where I've been at on this journey and how I got into it.
How long you been doing it?
It was 6 years last month. Yeah, 6 years.
6 years. It don't seem like that
Don't
long.
seem like it, brother. Don't seem like it. Time flies, right?
Right.
Time fly. Yep.
Now, you've been on some big stages.
Yes, sir.
And you've been in some big shows. Like Chicago PD was a big deal.
Mm-hmm.
What's it like? Like, what is it like being surrounded by all of that, being in that scene? Because I've never done it.
If nothing else is, I mean, of course, we grew up and we, you know, have this big idea of the industry and fame and all of that and lights and glamour and all that as a part of it. Of course, I haven't reached it yet because I'm still not, you know what I'm saying, on that level. But if nothing else, is more humbling because we see it on TV and we see actors and we know their names, but you're actually getting engaged with these people as human beings. You know what I'm saying? In between takes. Say, for instance, on Empire, where I walk in and I'm sitting right next to Felicia Rashad. Like, that's Claire Huxtable, bro. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, so in between takes, you know what I'm saying, you're not really supposed to be interacting too much, but they nice people. You know what I'm saying? So they'll speak to you. You know what I'm saying?
So you get to see the human side that nobody talks about.
I get to see the granny side of Felicia Rashad in that one day that I was there filming. You know what I'm saying? So that's relatable to my granny or relatable to, you know, a lady who might have raised you. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you get to see that side that, yeah, they celebrities and it's that world, but these real people, this real life, this real work. You know what I'm saying? You don't have no time to be here starstruck or, you know, act like you ain't never been nowhere because nothing's about to stop for you. This is a big production. You'll get walked out. You know what I'm saying? Forgetting that you have to be a professional in this thing. It's like going to your everyday job. You're not going to get too, you know, the president of your company walk in, you're not going to get too out of line. So it's like the same thing, man. It's fun, but it's real work. So it's real humbling. You always got to be locked in, especially when you're talking about multi-million-dollar projects. Can't disrupt that. So
I'm glad you brought up the other side of the people that you've worked with.
Yes, sir.
Because a lot of people get lost in the character and forget that character is an actual person and the character is just a character. That's why I asked you when you came in, how are you? Because like I said, a lot of people know Liam Ellis, the actor / everything else, and nobody talks about the person. You understand what I'm saying?
Facts. And we see that a lot play out the wrong way when it comes to celebrities.
Right.
We see that a whole lot. So, yeah, I get you for sure.
That's what's up. Okay. What's it like dating? Being in that.
Hey, you tell me, man. You the one got the platform, brother.
I'm just saying, man. You've been, like I said, you've been in all of these scenes. Like, what's it like dating as a man that's been in all of these scenes? You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that really changed. I mean, I get what you're coming from. If nothing else, is you busy,
right? Because like you in a whole different sphere of things, and you got a lot going on.
I think before acting, I never understood when people would say like, "I don't have time today." And, you know, some people have like certain careers, so you understand doctors. You understand like the grind they're putting in, lawyers, elected officials, things like that. But then, just as me, I'm thinking like I've never really been too busy to date until you start realizing acting is something I should take serious, and you start realizing how much time you really have to put in. Not even just filming, but that's the fun part. The work is when you're not filming, and especially once you sign, I'm sending off self tapes every day, like literally I wasn't doing that before I had an agent. I had no need to. I wasn't getting those, you know what I'm saying, those kind of looks. But now every day you wake up, 10, 15 emails about a whole bunch of different roles all over the country, all different times. So that's priority. The last 3 years, that's been priority. So when I meet people and they say like, why you're single or how's dating, I haven't been, because like I've been out the way, focused on this like 100%, wake up, research this, go to my regular job, get off, get on the road, go to an audition, go to a booking. So it's like, yeah, it's a real heavy grind, but it's worth it.
Sheesh. That's a lot.
But it keep you focused though. So then when you do meet, somebody or you do date, you know, you not approaching it with a lackadaisical attitude, or you're not playing because you don't have time to play. You know what I'm saying? So you're intentional about everything you're doing now because you kind of have like a regimen that you kind of have to stay according to strictly. So yeah.
Okay. It makes sense.
Yeah. So it helps out. It helps out, I guess. It's prepping you. It's prep. That's how you gotta look at it.
That's what's up. Okay, let's double back. Which role is your favorite role to play out of everything that you've done? What was our top two favorite roles you've ever played?
Oh, that's gonna be easy. That's gonna be the 2 years I worked at the Rep back to back. 1 year, the first year we did Fences, that was 2019, and then 2020 we did Raisin in the Sun. And both of those, you know, Rep is a legendary theater in the city of Toledo. Fences was the first all-black cast in the city at that theater in like 30, 35 years. You know what I'm saying? So that was like historic.
So you're part of history.
Yeah, we're forever part of history there. 10 shows, 7 shows in 10 nights. I mean, sold out every show, standing room only, even Sunday, 2:30 p.m. shows. You know what I'm saying? Then the following year to double back at that theater and do what we did the year prior to be able to recreate that magic with a whole different production, whole different cast, all black production. And the thing about that, we closed that show a week before COVID ever became a thing. So that's like my last sense of normalcy with the world is tied to me being in that production. So that was just a very, very, very special production. And those are the plays that let me know that I could really, really, really do this. The impact that I had on people for those performances was something you keep with you forever.
Right.
Yes, sir.
How did COVID affect you when it came to getting roles, auditioning, things like that?
Nobody was working.
So it was like a complete shutdown. They wasn't doing anything.
The industry was shut for a while. Theater, film, TV, indie scene. Because nobody knew the severity of it. So remember, everything was shut down, and even once things started opening back up, our world opened up, but it's still most productions you still got to be vaccinated. So that becomes a complex dilemma for some people depending on what their personal beliefs are. So it definitely put a halt on things. But it put a halt on the whole world. So it was nothing that we could sit back and be mad about, feel sorry for. Literally the whole world was in a crisis. So what was I gonna complain about because my field was shut down?
Right. What was it like readjusting and getting back into it?
Oh, you geek. It was like Kid on Christmas. Yeah, I mean, because you understand why I had to shut down, but that don't mean we didn't want to work. You know what I'm saying? That don't mean you wasn't still working on stuff. And you didn't have no projects to do, so you had a lot of time to do character development, to research, to plot your life or your next move for when the world did open back up. So you entered it prepped, you entered it very excited, still kind of, but at the same time unsure because you didn't know exactly to what depths the industry was going to be affected. Even once you open back up, and like I said, some sets you couldn't even. They were still opening it up, or you could only be there if you were actually filming that day. And if you were filming, you had to be in this room while the crew was in that room. So everything was even the social aspect of it. The dialogue just as people, not so much as actors on set, and you talking to the crew and extras and backgrounds, all that kind of stuff. Was still simmered down. So you were happy to be back at work, but you were still missing the openness. You could tell it was a difference than before, and obviously,
right. Just because that was like the first time in our lives that something happened and nobody knew what to do.
Nobody.
I've never seen anything like that.
I think the only thing close to that was probably like 9/11. Like when 9/11 happened, that was a sense of maybe not the world was shut down, but it was a sense of life in America had halted as we knew it. But then again, we were in high school, so we were aware of the impact, but not.
It didn't register.
It didn't register. I was mad that The Simpsons was canceled. You know what I'm saying? Like that's how.
I was mad about.
I was 16 years old.
Right.
So
you know what I was mad about? VH1 kept playing that damn Creed song
all day. Yes, sir.
I hated it so much.
Sir. Yeah, see, so that was our biggest gripe with that kind of tragedy. So yeah, to see the pandemic hit and us to be well into our adulthood, fully understand and be impacted by it. Yeah, that was definitely a once in a lifetime. That was our history book moment. Like our generation is going to be defined by we lived with the pandemic.
Yeah, and it's different coming back into it. It's exciting.
Yeah.
But like I said, man, it's wild out here.
Yeah. I can't see it being normal again.
Ever.
Like I think this is like I was talking to somebody about this like 2 weeks ago. I think this is just gonna be with us. I think it's gonna be just how we treat the flu. Like this, you're gonna have to get your COVID shot. How you get your flu shot, and it's gonna be. I think it's gonna be like that. I can't imagine it going back to a world where COVID just doesn't exist. It's still funny not having your mask on everywhere you go.
Right, people are still wearing a mask out.
Yeah, even at my job, it got laxed. We don't have to, but half the plant still walks around with the mask on. And then it's funny because like I've been working for 2 years and I never seen your face.
Right.
Like so it's almost like it's just like that's what you look like just in the shock of like, huh, cool. I've been just seeing you like for real, like, huh. I be really walking around early. That's what you in my head. Like that's what you look like. Oh, right. Cool. That's what you look like. I've been wondering, cool, like you just be looking at eyes for the past 2 years, so it's been mad weird, bro. Yeah, so it's like,
yeah, that's true. Yeah, it's been weird. I hated wearing the mask, but I knew it was a necessity.
Yeah, for sure.
I knew it was necessary. Yeah, they don't know. Like, nobody knows what to do.
Hey man, I'm not. When I know we're in a world of conspiracy theories and all that, but I'm not questioning nothing where I'm seeing the global population die like every day. I'm not questioning whether or not this is legitimate anymore. Like, so any doubt I had was gone like the first 2 weeks. Like, let's put the mask on. Whether you get vaccinated or not, that may be a different conversation, but people put y'all mask on. Like, what is y'all beefing about this? Like, obviously people are dying, so put the mask on and just be cool.
Right. It's like, and it doesn't even have to be what they say it is. They dying of something. And they saying that a mask is an okay thing for you to wear to stay alive. So why not do it?
Why not?
It just,
why not?
Don't even get me started.
Oh yeah, I got you though. I'm with you though.
Don't even, because if I get going, boy, I tell you. Now, we've covered acting. Covered what got you into it. Basically, you getting thrown to the wolves.
Yes, sir.
But it seems like that's the best way to do it. Like, throw you in the water, you either sink or swim.
That's what I was going to equate it to. Swimming. Just one day just going to jump in the deep end and figuring out you can swim because you don't want to drown. So yeah, it was kind of like that.
Right.
It's a live show.
Show.
Yeah, can't stop and be like, hey man, my fault, I messed up. So you gonna do what you got to do. You're going to do what you got to do, or have a couple hundred people kind of mad at you.
I was going to get into that. What is it like being on stage? Like, we've done stage plays before.
Yeah.
We've been in the stage play before.
For sure.
Shout out to Cracks the Foundation.
Shout out to Cracks in the Foundation. Nixon's, Jay, Shawnee.
What's it like being on the stage, the live stages that you've been on? Because we've been in front of maybe a group of people. Like, the biggest thing I think we did was Owens.
Yeah. That's a little tour around. Yeah.
What's it like being in front of the people that you were in front of in the theaters that you've been in? Because that has to be a wider, bigger venue.
Yeah, it's dope though. It's amazing because like and I think that this is why theater will always be like dear to me. A is where I started at acting wise, so I can never forget that. But it's more intimate than film and TV. You like you said, we've been on stages, so it's certain stages we've been on where you could literally stick your hand out, you're touching. You don't get that with TV. You know what I'm saying? And everything is live, so everything is organic, so your energy is...
And you get the reaction.
It's just mad adrenaline, yeah, and you deliver a scene and if you in tune with your character and your scene, the reaction. Like, we know when, the pockets where the audience is going to laugh with you. The pockets they're going to be taken aback. The pockets they're going to sit there and just be quiet.
Right.
We those things. So it's you focus on the script and you're locked in for sure, but you're definitely aware of the energy, even if you can't see them because it's dark in certain theaters. Like the rep, I couldn't see the crowd at all past the first two, three rows, and that's a smaller theater. But the way the lighting is, it's so dope that when it's showtime, you really don't see the crowd. So to hear reactions or to recognize voices, like I can hear my dad no matter what theater I'm in. I know where my dad is sitting at. I just know him. So you get all them visuals in your head, and all that stuff helps get you through the show, because some plays are long, bro. Like 2.5, 3 hours. So you're exhausted. You know what I'm saying? You're doing that 5, 6, 7, 8 nights in a row. You need the energy off that crowd to actually bring you to life, and so you can give them what they came to get. Yeah. So it's a fair relationship. It's a constant dance of give and take. The whole time you giving to them, they taking, they giving, you taking, and it's beautiful. It's beautiful, brother.
I can tell. Yes, your face just lit up after you just described that.
Because certain things you get with theater that, like I said, you can't get. Like to walk off stage, and like when I played Fences, one of my castmates, his girlfriend at the time, her nephew was disabled, and he had the same disabilities that the character I was playing. So when he comes, they're telling him about, the role, and telling him that he's going to have representation in the role. So he's coming solely to see me. You know what I'm saying? And he's coming solely to see how I make him feel. So when I walk off the stage and boom, he in tears, or you hear Granny say like, I'm gonna make sure I be more intent about loving or caring for my disabled family member based upon what I've seen or feel from what you just gave me on that stage. You can't, I mean, yeah, we need money to pay bills and live, but a check can't cover that feeling. And I only got that in theater so far, so.
That's dope.
Yeah, so.
To be able to affect somebody that is going through the same thing that your character is going through.
Yeah.
And to do it in a way that hits them, that's dope.
Yeah. So yeah, that was beautiful. Yeah, I still reach out and ask about him to this day. Like last time I heard, he was like in Denver doing like real well for himself. He's a young man. He was probably about 16 at the time, so he maybe 20 now, 19, 20. So I still reach out to my homeboy and say, hey, how's your nephew doing? Like stuff like that. Like so, yeah,
that's like cool.
Dope stuff.
That's cool. All right, we've done everything. Now I gotta ask. Cause I be seeing you in these YouTube comment sections, bro.
Man, it's
I be seeing you but you kind of like, I've seen you view things from an objective standpoint.
Yeah. We ain't there to be arguing. I be watching like, and it's funny because like before, say like the Manosphere popped off over these last few years, you could never imagine. I mean, we watched YouTube, but you would never be like, I'm not about to be on no YouTube comments, you know what I'm saying? Because you didn't find nothing that relevant. It was pretty much you were there for entertainment. We watching sports highlights, music videos, stuff like that on YouTube. You know what I'm saying? So it was nothing that engaging for you to give your 2 cents on. But when you come across an MTR or a lead attorney or O'Shea Duke or O'Shea Duke Jackson or possibly the homie Kevin Samuels, you know what I'm saying? And as black men, when you see conversations that we had in barbershops and cookouts and with the homies in locker rooms, when you see those get national platforms, come on, man, it's like that's part of the whole representation thing. You always gonna feel gravitated towards something that's representing you, and what represents us more than seeing black men, because that's what we are more than anything else. We're black men. So when you see black men who is the least self-marketed, self-controlled product in this country, in a capitalist society, in terms of more people who are not black men have controlled our narrative, our imagery.
True.
You know what I'm saying? Who we are, what we want,
what we supposed to want, how we supposed to act.
You know what I'm saying?
All of that.
We haven't been managed by us. So to see the Manosphere give that representation on that platform, you see so many diverse men doing it, all with different perspectives and maybe missions, but they got the same idea in mind. They all want the same thing, and that's just to advance us versus black men, second as mates with black women. to build up the black community. So to see that, it's like, we're gonna be in there chopping it up because you having good discourse and good dialogue with people who you relate to, although you've never met each other. That's the beauty of the internet. That's the beauty of social media. You get connected without actually being physically connected. So we're talking to, I'm a 36-year-old filmmaker, so I'm partnering with 55, 60-year-old well-to-do black men who I would never come across if it wasn't, if it wasn't for that space.
Like if the doors wasn't open and the videos weren't posted, we wouldn't all be moving the way that we're moving.
Exactly.
In the way that we're moving.
And we never seen that in terms with black men on this level. So it's beautiful. Yeah. So we're going to be in there chopping it up.
Why do you think that's so terrifying? Because it seems like the more we gear ourselves towards working towards something that we all can benefit from, the ones that see us doing it try their hardest to put a dent in it. So it must be a reason.
Yeah.
Why is that?
I mean, you just think on any level though, like, and I'm not mad at, the man or black women or modern women. This is not about arguing or being mad. You got to accept stuff for how it is. This is just all part of the game. So if you've had control of something for X amount of time, and then the thing that you have control over realizes you really don't have control over it, and it starts,
you representing it wrong,
it's change. First of all, it's you're not secure. We're humans. Humans like control. That's part of us. You know what I'm saying? It's part of the daily thing. You gotta temper that. You gotta balance that out. So if you're losing control on something, whether it's a relationship, whether it's a job, whether it's a hobby, whether it's a friendship, you instantly are gonna feel a sense of insecurity.
And you know what's crazy? There's a platform represented by somebody that looks like us that can help you with all of those things.
Yeah. So it's a natural power struggle. Like I said, we haven't been in control of us, so we haven't had any power over how we represent it. Like you said, what's expected of us, our doubts. We haven't had control over any of that. So when you start getting control of that, then of course the people who've had control over you, whether it be out in the working field, the patriarchy, or whether it be domestically in the black community, we get accused for being misogynistic and patriarchy. Black men haven't ran the black community in about 50 years now. So
there's never been a point where we have oppressed anybody.
Yeah, we've never had the position to oppress anybody. You know what I'm saying? And then when it comes to, black men are part of the patriarchy, how am I a part of the patriarchy when I'm not even a human to the people? You know what I'm saying? Every man, there's this misconception that every single man in America is somehow a part or a beneficiary of the patriarchy. We know that's, we know that's not true because everybody doesn't have the same leverage, the same power, the same economic status. So we know
there's tiers to this shit.
So a black man in America ain't been in the power to oppress no white man, no white woman, no black woman at no point in time. All you have seen black men do is what? Destroy who? Each other. Because that's the only person we have access to take out all this frustration to vent out over is another black man. You see what I'm saying? So yeah, when you see a Kevin Samuels or you see a MTR or you just see anybody doing reaction videos to even women holding other women accountable, them women get canceled.
It's like they eat each other. It's crazy.
So it's not even a gender. It's not even a man versus woman thing. It's not even a black versus white thing. Bro, this is just the same basic principle of right, wrong, good, evil, truth, lie. Light, dark. You can't have both. I have no problem with it's messed up, but when Cameron Samuels died and people clapping, cool. It just shows us who you are. That's all it does.
Thank you.
You just pick your side. Cool. Stand on that. Because if you're gonna tell me that man did anything in the 2 years that he had the notoriety he had, think about this, bro. We done seen people with real crimes, celebrities, just think about your own family. We all know somebody who ain't right. But let them die. The whole world got to stop and cry with us. The whole world.
You better not say nothing about it.
And you better not say nothing. You going to go get the pastor to lie on that Bible, to put your dead relative in heaven. So if you're going to sit there and tell me that man earned claps for his death, that you're really telling me he's like the worst thing that we have ever come across. And there's no way you can factually say that, whether you're a man, woman, straight, not straight. You know what I'm saying? There's no way you can say that. So it's like, yeah, so when you see those things, it's like, listen, you don't even get mad at it. Ain't no point to be arguing over it. When you see racists be racist, cool. You know who they are. How you gonna move? Because they can only show you what they showed you.
And that's what they say. They say, this is what it is. How can you make it by maneuvering within what it is? Because they're not going to change it just because you want them to.
Man, this world
is not going to happen.
This world is so big. This market is becoming so free. Thanks to things like the internet, like we were just talking about, you can avoid whatever you want to avoid in this day and age.
Right.
So if you know one group or something you oppose that much, you ain't gotta have no beef. You just don't work with each other. That's just the simplest thing. We don't align here. We don't agree here. If it's that major to you, if there's no trade-off of equal value y'all can give, if there's no compromise y'all can come to, you just don't work with them, or you just don't pay attention. Like, not even in disrespect, you just let them live in their world, you live in yours. Y'all ain't gotta.
And it ain't no beef. It's just I can't rock with you, so you go that way and I'll go this way.
It ain't no beef. I ain't gotta slander you if I get asked a question. I ain't even gotta answer the question because we don't have that much relevance to each other, because we both agree that we're so diametrically opposed to each other. There's no point of us having any kind of run-ins, any kind of beef. We just.
And you can still respect each other as men. Like, hey, you stood on yours, I stand on mine. I'll dap you up when I see you. It ain't no beef, but I just can't rock with you.
And that's one of the misconceptions about Kevin Samuels, or the manosphere as a whole, is not a space that was designed to be arguing or to be beefing or to be mad at women. Or listen, if I say, okay, listen, this is the behavior I see, this is the result of that behavior, I just know I can't rock with that behavior. You see what I'm saying? Now, if you get out of line about your behavior, or get out of line about somebody saying their behavior ain't kosher, now that's a whole different, that ain't about us agreeing. That's you disrespect somebody as a human being and expecting them to be like, to downplay it, or, you see what I'm saying? So when you see alleged misogynistic conduct, you see what I'm saying? Think about this. You can call somebody's show and cuss them out over their show, and they're supposed to treat you like what?
They called in. I'm glad you said that. They called in. They were acting like this man went out and got these women.
So think about this. A black man who branded his own platform off his own 20-year professional career that he had, that nobody seemed to talk about, with his own money, on his own resources, on his own networks. That man got rules to follow from other people, and if he don't follow them, then he's X, Y. This is how disrespected. This is how not in control of our image and our narrative that we think about that. That's like me walking there right now and just coming at you crazy about how your apartment. I'm in your space. I don't have to be here. You see what I'm saying? You didn't force me. You offered an invite. I took it.
You could have said no.
Could have said no if I got here and like the way something was set up, or
you could have been like, I want to do this someplace else.
Or I could just be like, this ain't for me. I don't like, this show ain't for me. Cool. That's all you got to do. There's no bigger way to say that man was right in what he was talking about than the absolute display of vitriol that he got from dying of a heart attack. You know how common it is that black people die of a heart attack?
It's like the leading.
People talking about it's karma. It's a heart attack, dog. He's in his 50s. He's a cancer survivor. He already, you know what I'm saying? So that makes him already more maligned to certain medical conditions or tragedies or happenstances just based off that. So it's like, bro, to see people that detached from reality and from facts, all because this man. And again, nothing that he was saying was like he can get a patent for creating. This is stuff that black men been talking about amongst us. This stuff was, if you had a daddy, a granddaddy, an uncle, you heard black men talk like that. You seen, and if them men had wives, you seen black women fully understand and appreciate and respect what that meant, you know what I'm saying, that line of thinking. It wasn't misogynistic.
It
wasn't abusive. You see what I'm saying? It wasn't you hate me. It was none of that. And if you go look at them women who subjected themselves to that kind of talk, I bet they still married. If your big daddy died, I bet he died married to your big mom. Now look at every single woman who opposes that kind of mindset, and look at the mindset. And sometime at the end of the day, you gotta look at results. Results have to dictate whether or not your methods worked or not. It can't be because you feel you want in your mind, and that's men, women, no matter what we talking about. The most childish mentality you can have about any part of life is I'm not compromising. The whole world is built off compromise. Companies are built off compromise. Nations are built off compromise. Great relationships are built off compromise. So if you saying I'm not settling, or what you're saying is I'm not willing, or I don't have the ability to compromise, what you're saying is that's immaturity in that area. But we can't have that conversation. We just say, I'm not going to settle because, and we talking about career, everything, not just women saying that to men. We talking about just you always hear people talk about this what I want, this what I'm doing. Listen, if it's not realistic, if you don't have no real plan, you need to abandon that or develop a real plan.
Formulate something realistic and practical.
Or accept never getting that desired outcome that you say you deserve because you didn't have no plan, so you darn sure wasn't working nothing. But we can't have these conversations. But his death is just not gonna stop nothing. You know what I'm saying? Because the impact has been already hit.
If anything, it's gonna open more doors because he made the mistake of making it comfortable for us to talk.
It's over with.
It's a wrap.
You can look in the comments. This ain't no woman man thing, because just as many people in them comments saying they love this man who are men is women, black women, and we love this man. We appreciate this, even though I don't agree with everything this man said, or I may not agree with the tone, or I may not understand it because I'm a woman. I understand the principle of what he's saying, and I have applied it to myself as a single woman, as a married woman, as a dating woman, and it has helped me. So we can no longer be like, oh, men who talk like that, or that whole space is about hating women, because that whole space over the last 2 years have accepted just as many black women content creators and everything else.
It has never been about hating anybody. It's been about improving our image.
And you can't do that if you don't identify what works and what don't work. Keep and improve what does work. Willingly discard what doesn't work. Be willing to accept something in its place. That's just basic life.
Two things can't occupy the same space at the same time.
That's just a mentality you got to have in life to make it anywhere to grow and progress in life. So why is it such a hard thing for us to understand when it comes to us dating us? The level of this is just about compromise. I may not be able to get you everything that you want right now. You may not be able to give me everything that I want or need right now. I'm not even expecting you to. But what can you offer right now that I need? Here's what I can offer right now that you need. Let's take those things, put them things together, see what it can get us. Whatever it gets us, we build to the next, and you build to the next. That's just life, bro.
Don't nobody want to build no more.
Nah, because that's the downside of everything being open. You can have everything now, or you can at least see people have.
You got access to everything just looking at your phone screen.
Nobody's showing the work. Ain't nobody who you know documenting their work. Like the actual, not their achievements of the works, but the actual process. Who's showing that? Who vlogging that? So when you see people have, you just seeing them have. So all you thinking in your mind is have. And I won't, and I seen, so I can deserve, or I can manifest, whoop-de-whoop, but you ain't saying, you see what I'm saying? No, like for real. Like for real. But you ain't
whoop-de-whoop,
yeah. Like, bruh. Real talk, man. But
you're right though.
But you don't see nobody like showing the work. Like, dog, do you know how? Dude, you know, like, especially like in worlds like entertainment, bro. I'm an actor. I'm not a working actor unless I'm working. You see what I'm saying? It's just like if I quit my job tomorrow, I can put in many applications. If I'm in between jobs, that means I'm unemployed. It's the same thing in this acting world or in this entertainment or in this music, but ain't nothing guaranteed about that.
True.
So, you know what I'm saying? So if you come in this joint thinking you deserve or you expect, bro, you can't manifest nothing that's going to make you skip the steps of the work.
I can't stand the manifest thing. I can't stand it. I can't stand it gets on my nerves that there are people out there that think that they can just sit and think about some shit and think that it's just going to pop into their lap.
If that's the case, why everybody ain't got everything they want? So if you the source,
careful, your logic is showing.
If you the source and you can manifest, if you can manifest it, that makes you the source. Number one. So what's stopping you from having everything that you want if it just comes down to you thinking some, you see what I'm saying? Like, bro, like people act like dog. Like, but bro, it's like, I get it. Like, and I don't even be talking about this stuff to like make nobody feel better, like nothing. Like, this ain't no mockery. Like, this is just, I just have to objectively or like logically try to approach and understand what's going on. You see what I'm saying? So manifesting we only been talking about that for like the past 3 years. So what was people doing before that? Whatever was hot and trendy, and you know what I'm saying, then 5 more years is gonna be another new age practice that sweeps the, you know what I'm saying? It's like, it's always something new age. And people, we in such a spiritual world, but nobody, but nobody can understand what this stuff is. You know what I'm saying? And if you with the practice, you with the practice, cool. I'm not knocking that. You got your beliefs. You know what I'm saying? But we got to read about what it is. And we ain't had no results about all this manifestation. We ain't seen that much results for me to believe in anything people talking about. Because everybody know talk about they manifesting. They still going up and working every single day to live. We live day-to-day lives. You see what I'm saying? So all this manifestation, what?
Like what? Where's the manifest?
Where's the I need some results. What do you got now since you've been manifesting that you didn't have before that lets you know what you talking about is even working? And where did you get it from?
What steps did you take?
What's the plan for it? Write it down, lay it out. If you write down what you've been doing and give it to the next, but like, you know what I'm saying, like, where's your blueprint? Where's your manuscript? Where's the step-by-step instructions on what you doing on how it works? But we just getting it. It's just, but that's where we at with it. You know what I'm saying? Everything open. Everything is up to somebody's interpretation. It ain't no real truth. It ain't no more wrong. It's just, hey, bro. Bro, it's like Grand Theft Auto when you put the code in for like society to go crazy and like traffic be going crazy, people on the sidewalk be going crazy, the dogs be, you walking around, everything. That's how it is, but like that's what we looking at. Like, there is no solid structure to nothing, like in a comprehensive, tangible way. It's just like, I believe in this because I believe in this, and I believe in this. I ain't gotta have no proof or nothing valid to why I believe in it. I just believe in it because I can, and who is you to tell me? So it's like, bro, cool, like just cool, just. Cool, man. Find the people who think like you, and I guess stick in that lane, and that's all you can do to make it in this world, because we crazy for real. Like, I ain't even gonna lie to you, bro, society, but we be tripping. Like,
I was telling B. Wills that when I interviewed him, I was like, man, listen, man, you and me, we can sit here and we can actually have a conversation.
Yeah.
But people are assholes, bro.
But because, bro, it's like, I don't know if you heard the Kendrick Lamar album, bro, but he just said it like, what he said, like, what community feel they're the only ones relevant. Like, that's how, like, that's the whole gender and identity politics era that we in. Where, like, whatever group you affiliate with, that's all you can identify is. So if you on your Black Lives Matter, you can't agree with nothing else that break the code of Black Lives Matter, even if it's logical. You know what I'm saying? Even if it shows a fault, you got to roll with it because that's what you identify. If you LGBT, you can't agree with nothing. You can't be nothing else but LGBT. That's all you identifying by. If you into the political, I'm a Democrat, so I only believe in. It's like, bro, we picking one identity and saying this is who I am. This is all I am, and everything that we want is all that matters. And if you oppose this,
you hate us.
You hate us, yeah, and we're under attack, and it's like, this is getting nuts. So it's like, for you to be an individual in this time and not really be aligning like with no specific group or cause so concretely that you can't be or express or entertain nothing else, it's almost like cultish. Like like whatever you identify as your affiliation with it in this time got to be like so devout that it's basically almost cultish, bro. And the reaction you get from somebody who opposes is just straight hate. Like, it's not even no rhyme or reason to, okay, well, why don't you believe what I believe? What's your information? It's just,
once you disagree, you automatically hate me. You automatically hate me, and I can't stand that. Like, we can't disagree. We can have a conversation and get to a main point and not have the same route getting there. There could be pieces in there that you don't agree with. There could be pieces in there I don't agree with, but we understand where we trying to go. You understand what I'm saying? What happened to that?
It's a wrap. that's a wrap. Any sense of, like I said, and it kind of dilutes what they fighting for. Because what every group say they fighting for is the freedom of their group, the rights of their group, the expression of their group. But you can't get that if you denying the next group their rights. You know what I'm saying? All because them expressing their rights cause something that you believe in into question. Or you see what I'm saying? Like, the same thing you fighting for is the same thing. The most extreme behavior and comments be coming from the ones who so-called protecting their group. It don't be from the opposers or whatever or the matter. If you're talking about abortion, the ones who for abortion, they comments be the most vitriol. Like, dog, the same mindset or liberty of freedom and your body, your right, or whatever, you have to apply that kind of same belief to an opposing group that they're not operating because they hate you. They're operating out of their same freedom, and that's the choice they made. You can't listen to them without feeling some way about your point. Them supporting what they support ain't an attack on what you support. That's just them supporting what they support.
Right. Just because I do this doesn't mean that I hate you. And I really wish we could get out of that. That's goofy. Because a lot of this stuff ain't based upon no kind of morality, no kind of integral code, no kind of sense of humanity or nothing. So if you let logic, or if you let nature, or if you let equality across the board take its natural course, a lot of these issues will fall. You see what I'm saying? They wouldn't even exist because there would be no, you know what I'm saying? The right thing is going to naturally win out. The natural order will always take precedent.
It's going to always take precedent. No matter what issue you're talking about, if you're fighting for something that goes against basic nature or basic design or basic biology or basic science or basic medicine, without the uproar and the rah, 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 your issue can't even stand because nothing else out here naturally, organically supports it. And that's what everybody knows. You know, if you believe in something, you know what's really sticking you to believing in that. So you know when that's threatened, you know when that's being jeopardized, you know when you got to protect your most sensitive sore spot. When you protect your most sensitive sore spot, you don't do it in a nice way. So that's just what we're looking at. We're looking at everybody being insecure about what they really say they stand on, that they can't even stand on it so confidently that somebody else can stand on their issue, and it don't be no beef.
I miss those days. I miss those days so much. I got to bring you back because we got more to talk about.
No doubt.
We got way more to talk about.
No doubt.
All right. Last question. I always do this with all of my guests that are doing something.
Yeah.
I always ask them a random top 5. So, since you in the since you in the whole video, since you in everything,
let's get it.
Top 5 black male actors. No random order. No order.
No order. Cool.
No order.
That help me. No order.
Top 5.
It's so many, bro. It's so like.
And I'll even let you give me an honorable mention.
Daniel Kaluuya, my man from Get Out. What he did in Get Out and what he did as Fred Hammond was just remarkable.
I just saw that movie too. That was a crazy ass movie.
What he did as Fred Hampton was it's like what Jamie Foxx did as Ray, what Denzel Washington did as Malcolm X is the only like
spot on
biographical portrayals. It was in that realm. It was in that realm of what, and the thing, he's not American, and so for him to come over here and dominate that kind of role, you know what I'm saying, accent and everything, mannerisms and everything, like the level of genius he got with his craft is, yeah. So him, my man Ashton Sanders, he was RZA in that Wu-Tang Hulu series. He was in what's the one movie? If you see this cat, bro, he was in Moonlight. He was in Moonlight,
and he was the kid in Equalizer that was painting the house.
He was the kid. He was the kid in Equalizer too. Hell, homeboy code. I ain't seen him miss yet. Captive Son. I think what's the movie on Netflix? All Day and the Night. Yeah, I ain't seen him miss yet. Of course, I mean, Denzel ain't missed since. Denzel ain't ever missed. So he's just like on the. He's just a fixture. He's like automatic.
Automatic Mount Rushmore.
Yeah, automatic. We ain't even gotta go into him. For me, that's 3. His son, John David Washington, Tenet, Malcolm and Marie. Yeah. He might be my honorable mention because just because his catalog ain't super deep, but it's getting there.
And I like the fact that
he killed everything.
And I like the fact that even though everybody knows he's Denzel's son, he still want to do it on his own.
Yeah,
I like that.
He don't bank off of it, but it's crazy because like when I watch this man, it's like, dude, like he moved like that's his daddy, bro. Like, yeah, like that's that boy daddy. Like, yeah, like so,
you your daddy's son.
So you drawn in. It's like watching Denzel. Like it's like watching Denzel 20 years ago, almost like in terms of like that. You know what I'm saying? Being an adult and seeing like Denzel in Glory. You know, I was a kid when Glory came out, so like to be able to see that version of Denzel like as an adult would have been like popping for me. So to see his son kind of on that trajectory, it's like, yeah, he's the man for real. For real. Yeah. Who else? Who else?
That's 4.
That's 4.
That's 4.
Oh no, I ain't even go. Come on, man! I gotta show the hometown kids some love. JQ Cole from Toledo. And it's crazy because he doing it though. He was in the Hulu. He was on SWAT, Snowfall. The new show that the HBO got about the Lakers winning time. Boom, he in there. Cat from Toledo too, like from the city. But I knew him coming up, but he was like the first person to like really pay attention. Like when I really started acting, he was like always like reaching out stuff I didn't even see, like know that he was seeing. But he'd like hit me up and just give me advice, give me encouragement. So like when I got signed, he was like the first person I like inbox, like, bro, because he the homie, but he's like on that level. You know what I'm saying? So in LA, went to Lambda, which is number 1 art school in the world. It's in London. Went over there and studied. So yeah, so he's really like, that's like a good blueprint for a kid from the city to have, if they want to get into this acting thing. So yeah, boom, that'll round up my 5.
Yeah, top 5.
That'll round up my 5.
What you got coming down the pike?
Coming down the pipe, man, I'm actually filming a web series that's gonna build into a movie based up in Detroit. It's called The Trenches. My homeboy D'Antonio, he's popping because he had a movie on YouTube that went viral a couple years ago, like 10, 20 million views on my independent movie he filmed in Detroit. Then he topped it. He had made a anti-bullying short with his little brother, I think last year, and that did like 25, 30 million views. Then the movie he just shot a couple years ago just got put on Tubi. So he working on a program, original script now. It's pretty much called The Trenches. It's pretty much like a Wire inspired kind of show. So you know what kind of cult classic The Wire was.
Oh, that was bad.
That's like best scripted, you know what I'm saying? Like best scripted show ever. You know what I'm saying? Like in a whole lot of people's eyes, you can't really argue.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Like you can try, but your straw man
can't really argue against The Wire. You
straw man argument at best.
You can like something more, but I don't know if it's better. You see what I'm saying? That's how good The Wire is. So The Wire inspired this show called The Trenches. He's actually writing it like on the fly. So it's like we're shooting and then he's writing the next episode like based upon what we shot previously. So just started filming that 2 weeks ago up in Detroit. You're gonna be filming that all over the Midwest. I think he said it's gonna be like 10 parts, and it's like released like as a series, but then if you put it all together, it's like a movie. So based upon how everything go with that, we're gonna be on Tubi. So that's what I got coming down the pike right now in terms of working on somebody else's project. JCP Films, that's his Instagram, man. Film company. So go follow that. Definitely stay up the track on him.
Links to everything will be in the description.
For sure. And then my own, imprint, my own brand, Full Blown Media Group. We definitely always working on projects. I'm always casting, always writing scripts, always scheduling stuff, always, keeping an eye out for prospective talent. So I have an original full feature that I plan to start filming. I have time constraints have been June, so around July, we should original full feature. Speaking of Get Out, it's like a Get Out kind of movie, thriller, suspense, real life based psychological kind of cliffhangers, kind of twists and turns.
Like suspense.
Yeah, twists and turns. You're not really gonna know. You're gonna think you know, but you're not really gonna know until like
Oh, it's gonna be one of
it's
them.
one of them movies. Like, and even after the end of the movie, you still gonna be questioning, like, well, do I really know what I think I know? Did that really happen? Was that? Yeah, run that back. And that's the point, run that back. So yeah, so that's what we got coming down the pike in terms of projects that I'm actually working on filming wise through the summer. So
All right.
that's where we at.
Liam Ellis.
My mask.
It was a pleasure.
Always.
We must do
Always.
this again.
You already know.
We got to be back for part 2.
You already know it, brother.
Got to bring you back for part 2.
You already know it.
This has been your episode of Across the Table, where the drinks are cold, the mics are hot, and the conversations are fire. Till we meet again
We out.
in a minute.